Happy New Year, everyone. So I am officially back with my very first video for the year. So December is always a busy month for me, and with my son out of school, I don't get much time to record YouTube videos. But don't worry, I've still been working behind the scenes and I have a lot of builds coming your way. So our first TV show rebuild for the year in The Sims 4 is going to be The Parkers. The Parkers is a sitcom that aired from 1999 to 2004 and served as a spin-off of Moesha, starring Countess Vaughn and Monique. The show centers around Nikki Parker, a loud, confident, and hilarious single mom who enrolls in community college alongside her daughter, Kim Parker. It follows their everyday ups and downs as they balance school, friendships, and family, and is definitely a staple in Black television. Rest in peace, Yvette Wilson, who played Nikki's best friend Andell Wilkerson. She reprised her role for Moesha and was truly a fan favorite. The Parkers is currently streaming on Netflix. I've also posted trivia questions on my community tab, so be sure to check those out and see how much you really remember about the show. In this video, we're touring 3 separate apartments across 2 different lots. One is a 20 by 15 lot and the other is a 30 by 20 lot, and they're both located in Oasis Springs. The main packs I used were Discover University, Laundry Day, Seasons, and City Living. Here's my version of Nikki and Kim Parker, available for download on my Patreon. I dressed them using only Discover University. So for my gameplay, Kim is still in high school with Moesha, but you can easily change her to a young adult and create a sim if you want her to attend college. I've also created Professor Ogilvy, Andell, T, and Stevie, and I only used the City Living pack when I dressed them. I'm planning to build a small version of Santa Monica Community College as part of this series, so make sure to join my Patreon and vote on which build you'd like to see next. But let's start with the first set of apartments. I set both lots as residential rentals using the For Rent pack. The upstairs apartment for this lot is empty and ready for another Sim family to move in, while the downstairs apartment is fully furnished. For the living room, I referenced the episode where Kim, Stevie, and Nikki pledge AAA. So there's a moment where the girls give Stevie a makeover to help her fit in this little living room area. And Nikki also cooks for their big sisters until she gets tired of their disrespect and then she quits. I also included an old school computer on the dining table from the episode that guest starred Kyla Pratt, where we see Kim working on a school paper. The kitchen is so cozy and has a washer and dryer. I got a great look at the layout in the episode where Nikki's ex-boyfriend, who had a gambling problem, comes to visit. The camera pans around the kitchen while he plays cards with T, Kim, and Stevie, so I was able to catch some really good angles of the kitchen. I did add an extra window here because the kitchen did feel a little dark. Now, since the show never really showed Kim or Nikki's bedrooms in this home, I designed those rooms myself. So midway through season 1, Kim decides to move out and rent an apartment with Stevie, which also happens to be the same building where Professor Ogilvy lives. That roommate situation doesn't last too long, and eventually Nikki moves in with Kim. This building is on a 30 by 20 lot in Oasis Springs and includes 4 apartment units. The first floor is similar to Kim and Nikki's apartment, but with 3 bedrooms instead of the 2. The second floor has 1 empty, unfurnished apartment that you can turn into an apartment if you want, but I'm probably going to just keep it empty. Now, Professor Ogilvy's apartment is also on this floor. I had to make a few adjustments since some of the original walls were kind of slanted or on a diagonal, which would have made the building shape awkward in The Sims, so I just kept everything kind of straight and flush. His apartment layout also changes throughout the seasons. In earlier episodes, his bed is actually in the living room, but later on he has a private bedroom. So a great episode to watch for reference is the one where Nikki slips on the professor's floor. I think he's waxing it, and she hurts herself. She hurts her neck and her leg, and she's in a wheelchair. So the professor decides to take care of her, so she doesn't sue him, I think. but there's a lot of good camera angles in that episode that I was able to pick up on his particular layout. Across from the kitchen is a small balcony, and you'll need the high school years pack for the lattice on the balcony wall. A few episodes show Stanley's bedroom, but I mainly reference the episode where his twin brother pretends to be him and seduces Nikki. I did have to move his dresser due to my space limitations, but it was a pretty small, simple bedroom. So the last thing to check out would be this small little bathroom, which is next to his bedroom. Now, this floor, since it's an apartment building, it does also include a shared laundry room, which requires, of course, the laundry day pack if you want this to be furnished. So one of my favorite episodes in the series was when Andell hired Tebow, the clown, to cheer Nikki up for her birthday. That episode gave a really clear look at the living room layout. I got this divider from the kids' room stuff pack, but there's also other ones in the game as well, depending on which packs you have. I also included their little reading nook and added a small balcony off of the living room. So the original kitchen was angled a little differently. To keep everything functional in game, I just kept it straight. I reused most of the same CC from the first apartment since Nikki essentially moved all of her furniture in with Kim. Across from the kitchen was a small bathroom. Nikki's bedroom was never shown on the show, so I just kept it simple. Now the final room we're going to check out is Kim's bedroom. The only episode I remember showing it was when she had a sleepover with Regina and Stevie. Since not much was shown in that episode, I mostly just took creative freedom here and made it as Kim as possible. So that was the full tour. If you enjoyed this build, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more TV and movie inspired builds in The Sims 4. My next build dropping this month will be Franklin's house from Snowfall, and trivia has already begun, so make sure you check that out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.